The seed of resilience. In a small village tucked away in the heart of Africa, there lived a young girl named AKELLO. The village, called Wembo, was surrounded by rolling hills, fertile land, and a river that sang through the seasons. But beneath its natural beauty lay a harsh reality. The village struggled with droughts, poverty, and the lingering pain of past conflicts. AKELLO was the youngest of 6 children and the most curious. While her brothers and sisters often focused on their daily tasks, she would sit under the old baobab tree, listening to the elders' stories about the strength of their ancestors and the dreams they once had for the village. One day, the village faced its worst drought in decades. The crops withered, animals died, and the river that had always been their lifeline dried to a trickle. Desperation filled the air, and families began to leave in search of a better life. But AKELLO's mother, Mama, refused to abandon their home. AKELLO, Mama said one evening as they sat by the fire, "This land is like a seed. If we leave it, it will never grow. But if we care for it, no matter how hard it seems, it will bear fruit." AKELLO didn't understand how they could nurture land that seemed so lifeless, but her mother's words stayed with her. One morning, AKELLO woke before sunrise and walked to the edge of the village, where the cracked soil seemed beyond hope. She knelt and began digging a small hole. Into it, she placed a single seed from a fruit her grandmother had once given her, a baobab seed said to hold the spirit of endurance. Days turned into weeks, and AKELLO watered the seed with what little water she could spare. The other villagers laughed at her. "Why waste your time?" they asked. "Nothing can grow here." But AKELLO persisted. She began teaching herself about the land, observing the few plants that survived the drought. She talked to elders who shared ancient knowledge about soil and water conservation. Slowly, her efforts began to show. The seed sprouted, a small green shoot defying the barren earth. The villagers, inspired by AKELLO's determination, began to join her. Together, they learned to build trenches to trap rainwater and use natural fertilizers to restore the soil. They planted more trees and crops, and the land began to heal. Years later, the village was transformed. The river flowed again, the fields were lush, and the baobab tree that AKELLO had planted stood tall and proud, its shade a gathering place for stories and songs. When travelers passed through Wembo, they marveled at its beauty and resilience. "How did you achieve this?" they would ask, and the villagers would smile and point to AKELLO, now a young woman. "It began with one seed," they'd say, "and the courage to believe in it."